comic book ASM artist. Today we're going to be doing another comic book haul, and I want to remind everyone we have finally our 2,000 subscriber giveaway going on. It's to get a copy of X-Men Legends number 4, signed by Walt and Louise Simonson, with the certificate there, and then ENIAC number 1 first printing. All you have to do is go to the video in the description. It's the previous video that we shot last week. Leave a comment that says what you want to see on the channel, and make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell, because it's going to be a live drawing that we do. It's going to be Thursday the 24th around 7 o'clock, so make sure that you don't miss that. Alright, so this haul is actually going to have a little bit of stuff that I previously picked up that got thrown off because I know you guys were expecting a review on the Batman when it came out, but that was also a haul week for me. So there's going to be a mixture of stuff I've read and stuff I haven't. So to start it off with, we have World's Finest number 1. And I'm really excited about this, because this really looks like a huge nod to like the past years of Batman and Superman. Immediately you can just kind of see like the brighter colors here. You see Batman with the blue and the gray. Superman's pretty much always Superman, but yeah, we see the bright colors on Batman. Let us know this was probably, an earlier tale. And then we see him fight Metallo here. One of my favorite non-huge players for Superman, but he's cool to look at. He's half robot or fully robot under the skin here. And he's got that kryptonite in his chest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I love the more classic comics, so I'm excited to read this. I haven't read it yet. And then I got the Jason Fabok variant here, as well as, you guys know I had to do it, the Seinfeld cover as well. So one thing that irks me though, Seinfeld is a bigger Superman fan than Batman, and Batman's back here, so we all know that Batman would never even have the slightest chance of Jerry driving his car, but at the very least they could have had Batman in the side seat with him here. But it's still a fun cover regardless. Next we have Batman number 1 and 21. And this is the Lee Bermejo, the Batman cover. And what's cool about this is Lee Bermejo, his Batman designs were a huge inspiration for the look and the feel of Batman, and just kind of the grounded nature of the movie in general. So, and then this is the conclusion of the Abyss storyline. I did enjoy this storyline, which is kind of something, new and different. It was a fun chance to see Luthor, playing with Bruce Wayne and some of his allies here, the Batman Inc. squad. It was just a fun series. Overall, it was a fun little arc. I don't think anything, shattering happened out of this, but it was cool, and I love the art in this. It's been a couple weeks since I read it though. And then there's the backup story here, which I'm not really sure what to make of the backup story. I think it's just kind of like an alternate take on Batman. Robin is a girl in this iteration here. I don't know much about this, but I think it's just kind of like a Elseworlds sort of tale. Let me know down below if I'm anywhere close on the radar on that one. Next we have Detective Comics number 1054. And Bermeo continuing his covers. Inside is the continued story of the Arkham Tower, which pretty much everything is destabilizing at this point. We have found out in the past that Psycho Pirate was in charge of keeping all of the patients level-headed, and he was recently compromised by Nightwing, and so he's trying to keep everything together, all amidst the press conference this guy is holding with all of the important people on site. So naturally, everything comes unraveled, and it is not ideal for that guy. And in the backup story is really interesting. So it continues on the story of this kid who got sent to Arkham Asylum way back when. In this story, I only recently caught on that it takes place during the 90s. We see anarchy and stuff here. And later on we see a bit of like the prison break, or it's not a prison, but you know what I mean. We see the breakout of Arkham when all the inmates come around and stuff where they're escaping. And yeah, we see, I'm blanking on his name now, wow. But yeah, the take-up of Batman and when his back was broken here. And so, basically, he used too much force on the kid here. And we see the traditional Robin here. Tim Drake Robin, I believe. Why am I blanking on his name? Maybe I'll get it worked out in my head as we're continuing on. But yeah, here's the next one, Detective 1055. What the heck? I know who it is too. But yeah, it's, Azrael, his real name. I'm trying to remember his real name. It's been a bit. But yeah, this continues. This was a 10-week event, I believe. They had a Detective Comics book coming out every single week. Oh, John Paul Valley, there we go, got it. Sorry about that delay. So yeah, and then I believe Huntress has been having issues with seeing visions before murders happen and stuff, and we see some of the patients have gotten their equipment back in this one, so Mr. Freeze is operational here. And same thing, the backup continues on with the tale of the kid here. So yeah, this was actually a really interesting backup story. A lot of the backup stories I don't care for, because they just kind of seem unneeded, but that one, it doesn't have to be in that book, but it is interesting regardless. So next we have Detective Comics number 1056 with the Death of Jason Todd cover here. Very jarring, haunting. Probably one of Batman's lowest points. And I haven't read this one yet, so I don't know a lot about what's going on in this one. But yeah, it's continuing on the same thread here. Oh, we see Scarecrow is heavily playing into the mix again. So you're seeing a bit of nods to the previous Batman arc, not too much. I think this story stands well enough on its own. But, it's nice to see a bit of the acknowledgement there. And let's check the back up. continuing on with the tale of the boy here. And it looks like he's aging on. I'm curious to see if this kid actually ends up being another player, either hero or villain side to the Batman mythos. If you guys know who it is, once again, feel free to throw your guesses out there. Then we have Detective Comics 1057. So Lee went on his Instagram the other day and he posted his next to last Batman cover image. So he's finally going to be wrapping up his arc of covers on Detective Comics. I'm not sure what he's going to do next, but he said something interesting. He said that the covers, he wanted to tell a continuous story with them, but he said that there were some editorial limitations, like obviously, the cover for the Batman movie and things like that kind of interrupted the sequence. But I will certainly go back and look at the covers and piece together the full story, because he said they were printed out of sequence, but he did want to tell a story with each cover that's like a progressive tale. And then, yeah, still going strong. Looks like the same art style in the back here. So I'm assuming it's the same story. This looks more modern though, for sure. We see a modern Red Hood. Clayface here. Next we have Batman Killing Time. This is the variant cover, which I absolutely love. I almost missed out on this cover too. So yeah, I'm loving this. This is Tom King's newest Batman short story. I don't know how many parts it'll be, but yeah, this is just a lot more gritty of a Batman tale. Granted, even the one he's doing, the Batman Catwoman tale, is dark as well. But this is another angle on it. Really, the other one feels like a continuation of what he did on Batman Ongoing. This, however, feels like a completely different thread. And we see a bit of savagery out of Riddler that I don't think I've ever seen. So it seems like they really timed it to lean into kind of the level Riddler's operating at in the new Batman film, where we see a really violent Riddler as opposed to one who's just, lobbing questions out there. Now, crossover has been on and off for me. This is crossover number 12. This is definitely, if you haven't been reading any crossover issues, this is a fun one to read. This is Negan coming face to face with his creator here. And so this is fun. Throughout the whole series, there's been a string of murders with their creators and stuff. So we have Negan meeting Robert Kirkman with obviously the plan to kill him. And so we get all sorts of fun dialogue and things like that. And if you know Negan, you know the way this is gonna go. So, like I said, there's been quite a few of them I've just kind of been like meh on. And I've actually sold some of the previous issues, but this one in particular, I think is gonna stand out. Because it's so iconic, Negan doing that to Robert. Alright, so next we're going to move on to one of our boxes. I have so many books this time that I've got the 2 black boxes still, and then I got a few trades as well. Carnage Forever. And Carnage Forever, if I'm not mistaken, is a 30th anniversary special, which is the main reason I got it. And it looks like it's got 3 stories in it. And I don't know much about them. I literally just picked this up today. But we've got 3 stories. 3 short stories. I don't think they're connected at all. Let's see if there is another. I'm looking for an obvious switch in art style. I'm not seeing much of one though, so that's kind of odd. So, yeah, I don't know. And then I saw Ty Templeton is doing something in here. He normally does like, oh, well, he wrote, so his thing's called Funny, so maybe it's just a random, like, page. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's, I was about to say, he normally does like Batman animated. So I was trying to figure out what he would draw for Carnage, or if he switched his style up, because I'm sure he can draw things on model besides Batman animated. And the next one I think I got inadvertently. And this is just Carnage #1. I think this is just a brand new Carnage series. So, and it looks like the cover's by the same artist. So, nice little splash page there. Or 2-page spread, I don't know. But, yeah, I have absolutely no clue about this one. And I haven't really been following Carnage much. The last time I picked up anything with him was the Absolute Carnage specials or miniseries or whatever. Next we have Action Comics number 1040. We have this fun cover here. Superman arm wrestling the entire Justice League. Granted, Wonder Woman's not here, but you know, everyone else. So just kind of a fun cover. And I love the art here. I've been loving the direction of this book. We see Superman stripped down in a gladiatorial setting, trying to free these other people from the slavery of this war, this constant battle to overthrow Mongrel here. But what I love, so Riccardo Federici did the interiors here. Mostly he's known for his painted covers. He's done a few interiors in the past. It looks like he's continuing to do them for this Action Comics arc, which I am happy about. And the one thing I really noticed is previously he did 2 of the Batman Fear State specials, Alpha and Omega, I believe. In the coloring in that one, I feel like a lot of it overpowered his pencil work, because he does really well with just doing like just regular straight up pencil drawings. And so with this issue, I'm seeing a lot more of his actual line work not get overtaken by coloring. So I think this is done digitally. But like I said, it looks like there's a better balance. You can see more of the fine details of his lines. Doesn't feel as overpowered. But yeah, I can't recommend Action Comics enough. By the way, they're still continuing on. They've got a Martian Manhunter backup story. Now, I have no issues with Martian Manhunter or anything like that. I'm still just trying to figure out how that plays into the regular ongoing narrative of this book. I really just think DC had a bunch of extra work that was sitting around not used during that COVID holding period, you know. So this is Nocterra, number 8, by the way, by Dustin Wynn on the cover. But a lot of those backup stories just feel like, you know, they didn't really fit anywhere. But they still needed to use them, so they've just inserted them into, you know, other comics and stuff. So, yeah, Nocterra has just kind of been in a holding period for me as well. I think this is the first one for the new arc that they've put out. And there's some interesting developments here with Blacktop Bill. That's the main villain here, who's like pitch black. And the main heroes of the story. So it's gonna take an interesting turn for sure. I love Scott Snyder's work, and you know this one isn't a typical like superhero turn for him. You know, I've got introduced to him through Batman, but it's an interesting premise he's doing on there. Next we have Catwoman, number 40. And this one, at this point, they're more or less, I've been getting them for the Jenny Frison covers. Here we can do a nice trace here. The line there. Wow, we've got the couch arm in the way. I just like the curvature made. Jenny's good at making the eye move around the image here. We've got all these interesting lines. Granted, you know it's Catwoman, so it's not exactly difficult to look at those covers. But yeah, so this is the start of a new arc for Catwoman. Really not a lot of anything that stood out to me too much. I'm liking the clean line work though. I like that you can see like the shiny leather on the suit. I think that's a nice touch. But as far as the actual story, nothing really grabbed me in it. Other than, hey, this is a brand new, you know, story arc. And I think there's going to be a new villain introduced or something like that in that current arc. Well, next we have Catwoman number 41. So I think that was probably, well, no, not exactly. I was about to say that was Jenny's last cover possibly, but then I remember that's not exactly the case. So we have Catwoman number 41 here with her cats, which is great. Looks like the same artist. And I mean, I'm thinking there's probably a bigger mob boss type interaction going on. We're seeing a lot of guys in suits. Powerful guys in suits. Oh, we've got the flamingo here. He's kind of bizarre. I remember way back when the old Batman and Robin arc that Morrison did. So yeah, I think Onyx Adams might be a new character, maybe. I'm not sure. I know the main cover shows like her staring down Catwoman, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know, I just always get the variants. Which, you know, they just make better thumbnails. And they're nice to look at anyway. But yeah, so that's a variant cover, but they also had the Batman movie variant as well. And yeah, so we've got the nice bike chain here, which I think I missed the scene where she used it in the movie as a whip. I don't recall seeing her use it. I know, like, the Lego toy, she's got it and stuff. But I don't recall seeing it. So, but great cover. There's a handful of these Batman movie promo covers that are really great. And that's one I certainly needed. Another Jenny Frison cover, too, obviously. So, then we have our Spider-Man run. So we've got Amazing Spider-Man, number 90. I'll just go through them and then show the last one. 91. 92. Which this isn't the lizard here. We see he's got wings. So I wonder who that character is. And then I think lastly is 92 Point Beyond. So we'll actually look at 92 because the Beyond ones I don't think reflect. Now it looks like they've been having different artists and stuff maybe too. This one has Bagley doing the art. This one is Sarah Pichelli. This one looks like it's Pichelli too. And then I don't recognize, oh, we got Bagley in this one, so let's just look at this one anyway. It looks like Bagley did the cover as well. I just know that Arthur Adams wasn't doing the covers. He's been the standout on the books for me. I love seeing Arthur's covers. And I love seeing the work he puts into them. So yeah, we're immediately greeted to this lizard-like creature here. So we see Morbius here doing a confrontation. See Misty Knight, I believe. And I forget the other lady's name there. Yeah, I think that bit probably wasn't Bagley's work, though. Yeah, I'm seeing different artists in here. So, yeah, this is definitely not Bagley's work there. This is Bagley right here. So, yeah, the Identity Crisis Spider-Man are involved in the book now, too. So that's interesting, but they're not the same people they were, I don't think. All I remember from Identity Crisis were the costumes and not much else. What's this one here? So we've got X-Men number 9. So at this point, the main thing that's been going on in X-Men recently, or at least for ongoing, they have been trying to hide the fact that they are able to resurrect any of the mutants that die. And so Cyclops recently met with a very public death. And so they have to maintain that Cyclops is dead. And Ben Urich had pieced together that they had figured out how to resurrect their mutants as well. And someone went ahead and mind wiped Ben Urich. But still, Cyclops' death being so public, they had to officially say he was dead. And then that's where Captain Krakoa came from. And yeah, MODOK's in the book right now too, so that's an interesting twist. I was never expecting to see MODOK interact with the X-Men, so anytime I can see a Captain America villain stretch their legs in another franchise makes me happy, because they don't get a lot of love. almost nearing the end of this one, and then we'll switch to my collectibles that I got. So X-Men Legends number 12. It looks like we've got a classic Alan Moore cover here almost. Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler. Prelude to Excalibur. Let me see here. Who did I say? Did I say Alan Davis? I think I said a different name. Yeah, but that's Alan Davis. He's a well-established artist. I don't know, did I end up saying Alan Moore? I don't know. If I did, apologies. Looks like even some of the interiors too. I know Scott Eaton is doing the pencils. Written by Chris Claremont though, so lots of great talent, lots of names I know. But yeah, I've certainly seen my share of Scott Eaton work as well. So, and then I think they're gonna wrap X-Men Legends and then rebrand it as like X-Men 92, I think. So that's coming down the pipe. But they're gonna have them come into this world, I think. And what's this one? This is Joker number 13. This is the Punchline variant. I didn't put it together. It looks like she's behind bars on this cover. So that's very cool. Because that's where she's been in the course of this book. She's been behind bars awaiting her trial. So it looks like these people are eating eyeballs. Looks like there's teeth in the soup. So we've got some cannibalism. Some high-class cannibalism, I might add. So, a bit twisted. And yeah, this book is continuing to just be kind of like a spiral downward for humanity, it seems. It seems basically any character they introduced seems to be more depraved than the previous character. Especially based upon that scene it opened with, you know. Really trying to play up the angle of, you know, there are people out there on the wealthier side who do things like this. I don't know specifically, but it's one of those things that's like, well, how can you make your life exciting when you have all the money in the world? You know, you dabble with other weird things. Look at that, she uppercutted his head off right there. So they're really playing up her usage in this book, it looks like. Alright, that's the end of that box. So now we're going to move on to my collectibles. First off, I got the Watchers pop. So this is based on the What If version of the character. I actually haven't watched all these What If episodes yet. But I do know he plays a big part in it. I wish they would release another paint variant of him and just stick it with the other Fantastic Four wave. But I figured if they never do that, then I have to jump on this one. But I've been waiting for this one for a while. It was at the shop, sold out for the longest time, and then I saw it today. And it was online for a bit, but I don't like getting my pops online. I just like getting them at the HQ. And then I got my fun Michael Scott dressed as Willy Wonka with the golden ticket pop here. So this was actually the last one they had of these. And it's an exclusive to somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. or something like that, but once again, I don't like to try to get my pops anywhere else really other than the shop, the HQ. Granted, every now and then I'll find one at a few of the other places that I go to, but I don't actively try to drive around and hunt down other pops. Just if they happen to be in the store that I'm in and they're ones that I like this, then I try to get them. But yeah, to go with my Willy Wonka Michael Scott, we have the Willy Wonka soda, and I was lucky enough to get the Chase. So yeah, just with one can. Here is the common, but here's the Chase. So really happy I got it. It's a great soda figure to get. And then another one they had was the Oompa Loompa. Now the Chase for this one, he is holding the candy bar. Unfortunately, I just got the common, but yeah, it still works. I wanted this one. A fun fact, there was a period me and two of my friends, we did a lip sync thing for our church, and I was dressed up like an Oompa Loompa. I will throw that picture up on the screen if I'm able to. And I think we got like second place or something. I know I got like a fake Oscar. And then luck was on my side again, so this is the Pluto soda. But I got the Chase, so it's like a traditional black and white laughing Pluto, as opposed to the common colored one. Now, one slight gripe that I have is the Chase Popeye isn't black and white. He's in a different pose. I think he's got like a corkscrew arm or something like that. So I don't know why they wouldn't make them match. And then my final soda of the day, I got the common Yakko. So yeah, I missed the original Animaniacs Pops when they released way back when. So I figured at the very least I would jump in and try to get them as they released as the soda line. Plus they're just fun. Alright, so from there we diverge back into another black box. So we have Nightwing number 90. And this is a crossover here with Jonathan Kent as Superman. I almost call him Superboy, but he is the active Superman on Earth presently, as his father's away. So yeah, both of the series are written by Tom Taylor, I believe, yeah. So he's kind of got quite a good consistency between the two of those series. So we see a bit of overlap. And I'm trying to see if we can get some Jonathan in here. See that? I set it up to say that, and then I can't find any Jonathan Kent in this issue. But I know that there is a crossover, so maybe it's not in this one, but maybe it's in 91. And then we have our Batman movie promo here. The nice variant here. So this is Federici's normal style here. Yeah, so that's Riccardo Federici, so the guy who's doing the Action Comics interiors. This is what his painted covers look like. So yeah, very realistic. This is definitely one of the more accurate Batman covers. Next we have Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 9. So this is a definite Nightwing crossover. At least it better be or I'm gonna scream. So yeah, previously we got into a bit of the history here. So yeah, this is part 2. So part 1 was in the other previously we saw Nightwing's like first interaction with Jonathan and stuff when he offered him the lollipop from Batman's utility belt and stuff. So now we see them taking on, I'm trying to remember the name of this group here. I think they're called like the Uprising or something like that, or maybe just the Rising. They're more or less like super-powered foot soldiers, and they're taking out other guys who have powers from this country of Gomorrah, I believe is what they called it. This is a cool shot here, to look at that. If I can get it all in frame. Next we have Justice League number 74. And this one I got specifically for the cover. So in this one I didn't even see the solicitation, so when I saw this on the shelf, I was glad because I missed it. So we can trace this a little bit here. Nice Batman silhouette. And then the commissioner there. So let's look a bit at the inside. This seems like a thicker one too. Is this the Death of the Justice League book, maybe? League of Chaos Part 3. I don't know a thing about what's going on in this book other than I know that the Death of the Justice League is imminent. And it's pretty much going to be like the Diverse Justice League taking over. So we'll see how all that plays out. I'm assuming it won't be a permanent team, but we'll at least get an arc or two out of it. So this has some interesting artwork in it. A lot darker than I was expecting, honestly. Very frenetic, lots of energy and stuff on pretty much all the pages. Yeah, and then we turn it to the later half here. This is much more what I expected, the brighter tone and stuff. So, not sure about the gap between the two periods. But yeah. So it looks like this book's about half and half, where half is a different artist. Okay, next we have Batman Urban Legends number 13. The continued saga of the Wonder Pets here, or the Super Pets, or whatever the heck you want to call them. So that's the main story, is this stuff with all the animals. So, look at that, and then skip to this here. So this has some of that painted art in it again. White Witch, I'm assuming is how you say that. The art is by Anand Rick. And then here's another art style here. And let's see if there's one more at the end. Yeah, so it looks like there's another. And it looks like this actually ties back to the first story because we see the animals here again. Batgirls number 4, which I specifically got for John Boy Myers. The Batman cover. He's got the cool bike there. Cool suit. I love John Boy's stuff. So much energy. It's always very bold and bright. There are a couple older Venom covers he did at the shop too. I almost got them today, but I ended up not. Hopefully I'll be able to get one of them on my next trip. So yeah, I don't know a lot about this Batgirls book, but I'm just showing off the inside here, as I'm known to do. Definitely looks more cartoony. We have Alien number 10. So I did read this one. Super gritty here. We have, kind of the running theme of Alien, the survivor tale. So we have this group of I don't know what you want to call them really. They're like a religious group. In the previous issue they were doing this singing prayer circle thing. And the aliens were just picking them off while they were kind of singing in their final moments before death. And then we should just kind of see a bit more of the people who have managed to survive, meeting with more tension. Then we have Robin number 11. So as suggested by the cover here, we see a bit more of Talia al Ghul in here. And yeah, something big happens at the end of this. Well, I think it's alluding to something big is gonna happen. So we see Lady Shiva make an appearance here. She's kind of been an off and on lethal known assassin in the Batman universe. But yeah, I'm excited about the implications of what's been set up at the end of this book. I will not spoil it, but hopefully what happens is gonna happen, if that makes sense. Okay, next we have Berserker number 7. Keanu Reeves. So yeah, they are continuing to harvest the Berserker here for his memories, to try to trace down these important elements. I think this is the thing. They're trying to find the origin, the original origin of this. I think it's a compass, or it might just be a piece of gold, but it looks like a compass to me. But basically his commanding officer, if you want to call him that, or I don't know what he is. But he has been obsessed with the history of the Berserker. But he doesn't know everything, so he's trying to continue to mine his memories to figure out where everything started from. And then, yeah, inside of that box, he finds a remnant there. I'm not going to say what it is. But, yeah, it's some interesting stuff. And so, yeah, they're continuing to kind of push him to his limits. And in turn, even, the Berserker himself is going to learn more about himself. Next we have The Scorched number 3. This is the variant cover. So I'm not recalling a lot about it's pretty much about everyone else in the current Spawn ongoing book that's not really Spawn. It looks like this is focusing on Jim Downing, maybe. The guy who's like part angel who took over Spawn for a bit. You see the she-Spawn there. Yeah. So, I did notice though Todd is kind of stepping back from a lot of those books. He tends to write a lot of the stuff and oversee a lot, but I noticed he's let people do more on those. At least that's how it seems. So then we have the Scorched number 3's homage cover here to X-Men number 1, and they're going to make more of the linking covers as well. I'm not sure if that's going to continue on in the Scorched, or if it's going to be in, some of the other ongoing Spawn books. But yeah, we have like the fun little 30 years instead of the Marvel 50th anniversary and all that. And we have Spawn number 327 with another homage cover here, doing the Spidey squat. We have Haunt. And he is a cool character. He's cool to look at. His deal is, I think if I remember, he is a priest that is possessed by his dead brother to become the Haunt, I think. And he's kind of a target for both heaven and hell, if I remember. Yeah, and even this too, so they see Todd is doing script, but he's got another guy on it as well, Rory McConville, who I've never even heard of, so. Then we have this gorgeous Spawn cover here. I love this. I saw this at one shop and I was worried that I wasn't going to get it at the other shop. So this is King Spawn number 8. That cover is by Don Aguilo, I believe. And yeah, this is a heavy-hitting series for sure. If you have been on the fence about getting back into Spawn, I would certainly recommend reading King Spawn. It's a bit weird, but it's really interesting, and it's just kind of, I'd say it's the most interesting out of all the Spawn books right now. It seems like there's a lot going on in it, but there's lots of nods to Spawn's past in making those old threats new and interesting. It's kind of like a greatest hits with a new twist. Then we have Gunslinger number 5. So yeah, another interesting development in this is the Gunslinger has agreed to kind of work hand in hand with the clown here. Well, this is the full one. I wasn't sure if I had already read this one or not. But yeah, basically they wear each other out. We find that this version of the clown here is a version that he got, whenever Spawn took his head off and stuff in that issue 300, something happened to him where he got transported in different time periods, and he more or less adapted, and I think he absorbed other versions of the Clown slash Violator. And I know some of them are like his lackeys here, but then he personally himself took on some of the power too. So we're dealing with a more powerful, wiser version of the Clown in the past. So once again, adding a new threat element to an old foe, which I love. Your villain should always be as interesting as your heroes, and this is managing to do that. So, a couple other books I got here. So I got this one. This is called My Life Beyond Autism. This is a book made in cooperation with the Mayo Clinic. It's by Heikki and C. Anno. So Heikki is the artist here. And yeah, I think it's just about someone who is living with autism and how they deal with it. And the thing with autism is, I'm sure you all know at this point, there's a spectrum of it. There's a higher and a lower end, but I mean, even that, I kind of struggle to use that phrasing. The main thing, though, I just want to be treated like everyone else. There's quite a few people who see autism as a disability, and it's not. It's a different ability, It's seeing the world differently. That's kind of the point of the spectrum, seeing things differently. And it all has only been recently, some of you may know I've talked about on the channel in the past, that I'm actually on a higher functioning end of the spectrum. I am still on the spectrum, but I'm higher, and because there's low functioning and high functioning, so I'm capable of doing quite a bit of things. But when there's areas pertaining to focus and stuff here, like I usually need absolute quiet when I'm trying to read, or I'm not going to retain anything that I'm reading. I'll do a bit of stemming. I'll usually be moving my feet around inside of my shoe to kind of hide a bit of my anxiousness, I guess. I used to do like the toe walking, where I'll just walk up on my tippy toes when I'm not thinking about it, especially when I'm really tired and stuff. And it's the reason why I can't drive effectively to any place that I haven't been to like 1.5 million times, and even then, like, I can't get on an interstate or anything like that unless I'm specifically like riding, like a chaperone's bumper type of thing, because I helped with that in the past. But yeah, so this book here is all about this kid's journey with autism and how he deals with it and what he does for fun. And then the Mayo Clinic, there's a bit of it where there's certain terminology and stuff here. I think it's at page 32. So I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's key terms, and there's a bit more key terms here. So you can kind of learn a bit more. There's like sources, there's autismspeaks.org and stuff like that. So, but it's one of those things, like, we're becoming more aware of autism. We're still really not sure what causes it, but we're becoming more aware of it. And so that's a start, so we can just kind of learn how to function better with that knowledge, and how to help people understand around us. And there's some people who struggle with like social cues and things like that for it. So the next thing I got here is the Man of Steel Volume number 1. This is the John Byrne run on Superman. And they relaunched Superman after the Crisis. And yeah, this is pretty much my introduction to Superman, like I've said in the past. These were comics that I would read over my brother's shoulder. You know, I'd look over his shoulder when I was like 3 or so years old, and he'd be reading these issues. And I just love the artwork, which is so exciting and bold. I love just how bright and positive Superman looks. He's always got like a smile on his face for a lot of this. Granted, there's like, you know, some action moments where he's got a bit of a scowl and stuff too, but he's just, John Byrne drew an iconic Superman. And I had never really seen, at least from this collection, I don't recall seeing any of these other, like the Adventures of Superman issues here, or Action Comic, but I know the 1 through 6 here my brother had. But there's a collection of these. I think they just released the 4th volume of these. And then there's the Superman Superman in Exile Omnibus. That's a little bit later than where the 4th volume of this takes off. So, but these are great. I want to try to get the rest of them. Maybe show off a bit more. Maybe do some readings with it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm always hesitant with doing readings, but this is like my period in Superman. This is when I think of Superman, I have so many fond memories of John Byrne's Superman and, you know, Dan Jurgens and all those guys from that period, 80s and 90s. And then finally, super excited to get this. I did not think I was going to get it. So this is the Justice League of America Avengers mini-series that they collected into this trade here. There were only 7,000 made. This profited the Heroes Initiative. And yeah, so this is the collection of it. And I was surprised with the amount of bonus content in here. I'll show off a bit of just the pages here. But yeah, this is, you know, Marvel meets DC. It's something people always talk about. Imagine these guys getting together. This book shows it, and it's by the great artist here, George Perez, whose specialty is drawing highly detailed panels of multiple heroes in action. That's what he does. He's a master. And yeah, I was surprised the back shows off bonus material here, so we see other crossovers, quite a few people, and I remember like the DC versus Marvel, that was early 90s, and I remember like the crossover classics, but I don't know, I just remember like the first couple here. Really, I remember like the Captain America and Batman one, because that was the Joker meets Red Skull. And he was like, oh, I might be crazy, but I'm not a racist, you know, talking about the Red Skull. But yeah, so we get this great interview here. We get all sorts of stuff. We see all sorts of original pencils. Great stuff. So yeah, unfortunately George Perez is in really bad health currently. So this is probably gonna be one of the last things we see released while he's still with us. And his health has been waning for quite some time. He was even gonna do one final signing, because he really does love his fans, but his health just got so bad that unfortunately they even had to cancel that. But I've always just been in awe of when artists are able to put so much detail and passion into their work. And George has no shortage of that. But yeah, I want to say the profits were going to go to the Hero Initiative. They may have changed that now. I heard they're possibly doing something with another foundation, like a cancer foundation maybe. Because I don't see the Heroes Initiative markings anywhere on this book. So, I'm not sure. So, yeah, I don't see it. But either way, check out the Heroes Initiative as well. It helps creators, a lot of them who are struggling financially, usually with paying medical bills and things of that nature. So it's a way to give back to people whose work you've appreciated and help them in a time of need. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for now. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And as always, you all have a super slumber. Thanks.